Paul, politically in the Oireachtas, nothing practice when you've gone on the road, there's nothing more you can do.
The government has a massive majority. The government had a massive majority. They have a massive majority. But that's not the point. They don't have a majority outside. And that's shown by the massive movement of protest that erupted. You know, this is the biggest movement of people power in decades, hundreds of thousands on the streets, loads of people involved in street meetings, community meetings. And it all comes to this point. This is where it's going to be decided. The next 8 weeks are absolutely decisive. And we think that people outside the Dáil have the power, through civil disobedience, to beat these charges. There's going to be a flood of propaganda, there's going to be intimidation, there's going to be false figures coming out from Irish Water and the government to try and scare people into pay. And the aim of the leaflet, the street meetings, the door-to-door, canvassing, talking to people, convincing people to pay, people not to pay, is to give people confidence. Because their weapon is going to be fear, just intimidating people. Our weapon is confidence, and that confidence will come from organisation and people knowing the facts. People knowing, like, it's such a powerful message, the fact that there's no penalties for non-payment until July of 2016. That's why Alan Kelly responded in the way that he did 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. It's a direct response to that very, very clear message that is working and is winning people over, even people who are somewhat uncertain. And they're not able to change that, they're not able to deduct it from people. And so it's really clear. If people refuse to pay, we're on the verge of an extremely important victory. And it's a victory on the water charges, but it just blows open the whole question of austerity and the ability of governments to implement unpopular policies against the mandate on which they were elected.
You can't change the law, can you? Even yesterday Sinn Féin had a bill that was ruled out of order by the Oireachtas. So what can you do at the end of this?
Governments can be forced to change the law. I mean, we didn't have the power to delay the bills until April. We didn't have the power to get the conservation grant. We didn't have the power in the law to get rid of the need for the PPS numbers. All of those things were granted because of a movement from below and the government attempting to get people back on side. We didn't have the power in the Dáil. The last time the water charges were abolished, there weren't a majority in the Dáil that were genuinely against the water charges. But that's not how things change. Things change because governments come under immense pressure and they're faced with no choice. And that's what's going to happen. If 40% refuse to pay, 50% refuse to pay, you have an election, all the parties are
Paul, you're here announcing a series of localised street meetings. Are we going to have any more big days out, big days of action, or are we moving to a different tactic now, do you think? Do you think we can see another big day in Dublin in the next three months or so?
Well, I think everybody knows now that the government's not going to listen to a protest. And so if people are coming out just to try and convince the government, you know, that's not going to work by itself. So the key tactic that's going to win is going to be non-payment. And everything we do should be geared towards strategically bolstering that non-payment. But protests are a very, very important part of that. But the protest isn't anymore aimed at convincing the government. It's aimed at convincing people to have confidence not to pay. And so we think this protest, it's on here somewhere, on the 18th of April, Saturday week, can be quite a big protest. It partly depends on how many bills have dropped. But the notion that it's an explicit non-payment protest organised by the non-payment networks, or bringing together non-payment groups right across the country, there's about 100 groups have signed up to it. And that can be substantial, and it can be a real show of defiance. And people coming collectively, binning their bills, refusing to pay, and then give a message of confidence. Right?
It was obviously planned some months ago. I remember hearing Joe Egan talking about it back in February. Irish Water, in the intervening months, have said that the bills will be going out between now and June. In fact, are you concerned there won't be enough bills to burn on the day? In other words, like, if there aren't enough bills going through people's letterboxes, there won't be kind of as much power behind it.
I mean, we had a lot of discussions about the timing of the protest, and for a while there it looked as if the bills wouldn't be coming out until next week, in which case I think it would have caused a problem in terms of people's awareness of the protest and stuff. I think the fact that the bills are coming out this week, there'll be a lot of discussions about it. I think it's likely to be pretty much perfect timing, maybe a few days earlier than would be ideal. With the experience in the registration packs, because we were doing a lot of door-to-door work at that stage during the by-election campaign, is that once 10 or 15% of packs have landed, then it's out there. People don't need to personally receive their pack or their bill to know that it's coming.